I was supposed to make a funny skit, and I forgot that that's skit. Hey! Welcome everyone to another video. Now this is actually for a class project, so essentially my teachers and students are going to be watching this, or maybe one of my teachers. I don't know, doesn't matter. Either way, I'm doing this video and it's for educational purposes only, got it? So, no jokes, Chris, gotta remember that. I've been given 4 questions. I will answer 3 of them, and one of them is kind of combined with the last one. Anyway, the first question, what causes conflict and how does it progress? Well, conflict is when people disagree with each other or are having a serious argument. Bases of conflict may be personal, racial, class, political, and international. For example, in Hamlet, Hamlet has a conflict with his uncle, whom he suspects of murdering his father in order to be king. Just like how Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by Serbian nationalist Gavrilo Princip. And did you know that Austria-Hungary was quite mad at this incident? Austria-Hungary determined that the proper response to the assassination was to prepare for a possible military invasion of Serbia. After securing the unconditional support of its powerful ally Germany, Austria-Hungary presented Serbia with a rigid ultimatum on July 23, 1914, demanding, among other things, that all anti-Austrian propaganda within Serbia be suppressed. Though Serbia efficiently accepted all of Austria's demands, except for one, to be annexed. Because no one wants to be annexed. The Austrian government broke diplomatic relations with the other country on July 25th and went ahead with military preparedness measures. Serbia begged for help. Russia, Serbia's own mighty supporter in the Balkans, began its own initial steps towards military mobilization against Austria. If Russia attacked Austria-Hungary, Germany would attack Russia. Germany would be defenseless on the other side where France is, meaning they had to attack France too, which was essentially how World War I began on July 28, 1914. Also, the Schliemann Plan. What dare you doing here?
Oh, nice camera.
Would you like to describe the Schliemann Plan for me?
Sure. In World War I, Germany declared war on France and Russia. Fighting against countries on 2 different sides is quite a task. Because of this, Germany made a plan to invade France. The operation began the 7th of August, 1914. Germany tried flanking France by going through Belgium. Since Belgium was a neutral country, Germany thought that they would be unprepared for an attack going through, but they were very prepared. Anyways, since Belgium was an ally of UK and also a neutral country, UK was very pissed at Germany. Because of this, they declared war. So basically, the Schliemann Plan was a massive failure. Like you.
Oh, that's nice. Now, the next question. Are conflict, peace, and resolutions truly influenced by traditions, cultures, and identities? Well, yeah, of course. Conflict, peace, resolution, and other things are definitely influenced by traditions and such. Like Serbia, they wanted nationalism and freedom away from the Ottoman Empire and others like Austria-Hungary. Germany, on the other hand, wanted power. They wanted to be like the great empire they once were. So clearly, these things are influenced by these other things. That's my answer. Next question. What are the arguments for and against the Treaty of Versailles leading to World War II? Alright, so the Treaty of Versailles. At the end of World War I, leaders of 32 countries met at Paris Just breathe.
Yeah, Mom!
At the end of World War I, leaders of 32 countries met at the Paris Peace Conference, which began on the 12th of January, 1990, to discuss the Treaty of Versailles. Some were hoping that something could be salvaged from their country's defeat. Others were determined to exact revenge, while others represented new countries emerging from the breakup of old European empires and hoped for the best deal they could arrange. The Treaty of Versailles was signed on the 28th of June, 1919. Negotiations were dominated by Britain, France, Italy, Japan, and the United States. Germany had lost lots of land. Like when I say lots, I mean like quite a lot, like enough to take my glasses off. They had to surrender all German colonies to the League of Nations. They had to return the border region of Alsace-Lorraine to France. Surrender land on their eastern border to the newly formed Poland. Surrender land to Czechoslovakia. Germany lost about 13% of its territories, and there were also conditions under the treaty that dealt with issues apart from land. So they lost even more. It's ridiculous. It's so sad. They got mad, by the way. Really, really mad. Germany had to acknowledge its guilt for starting the war. So basically, they were bullied into admitting that they were the provokers of this war. Voting had to take place in certain areas to settle the Danish-German border. Germany was demilitarized. Germany had to pay war reparations or financial compensation of 6.6 million euros. And Germany's ruler, Kaiser King Wilhelm II, and other leaders were to be put on trial. Germany's army was to be limited to 100,000 men, and they were not allowed to have heavy artillery, I can't speak, poison gas, tanks, aircrafts, or airships, which are basically the same thing. I don't understand. Germany's navy could not have vessels of more than 100,000 tons, and submarines were not allowed. So basically, they were just, they were not having the best time. Just, not the best time. I don't know if that's bad. Oh God, I can't see. Germany made protests about the severity of the treaty, but Germany signed it eventually. I'm going to record like this now. Got it? Germany made protests about the severity of the treaty, but Germany signed it eventually. Some historians have argued that the treaty was too harsh and helped the Nazis get into power. Even Prince August Wilhelm, one of Kaiser Wilhelm's sons, who became a great supporter of Adolf Hitler, joined the protests. So that's pretty interesting. Among the other major outcomes of the Paris Peace Conference was the creation of the League of Nations, a new international body in which all countries could settle their differences by diplomacy, not war. So, that happened. And I think it did lead to the beginning of World War I. I mean, Germany was humiliated. They lost a bunch of power and wanted revenge. On the other hand, they did sign the peace treaty, meaning they agreed to the things that happened. But they were just kind of mad and did things, you know. So, I believe it kind of did lead it. So, yeah. I don't really know. I'm not really Germany, so I can't, like, have a say in it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was educational. I hope I get a good grade. Probably won't because of how bizarre this video is. But if you liked it, then like it. And if you subscribed, then subscribe. God. Czechoslovakia. Thank you, Chris Paris, for this, by the way. Love you.